Agriculture in India dates back to 9000 BCE, i.e., nearly 11,000 years ago. It all started with the cultivation of plants and domestication of animals. India was the largest producer of wheat and grains. Double monsoons helped in reaping 2 harvests in a year. This helped Indian products reach worldwide through trading networks. Plants and animals contributed a lot for the survival of humans, and from then Indians started worshipping few animals. Between the 5th to the late 15th centuries, irrigation channels reached new heights and Indian crops started affecting the economy of other countries. Land and water management systems were developed and the Republic of India started developing agricultural programs. The Neolithic Revolution. The Neolithic Revolution, also called the First Agricultural Revolution, began around 800 to 400 BCE. During this period, farmers started planting crops in a row, storing grains in a storehouse. Wheat and barley cultivation began, and rearing cattle, sheep and goats became quite common. By the 5th millennium, approximately between the years 1500 BC to 4001 BC, agricultural communities started spreading and Kashmir and cotton had already started cultivating. Fruits such as mango and muskmelon were grown. Indians started growing hemp, which was widely used in producing fiber and oil. Peas, sesame and dates were widely cultivated in North India. Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization dates back to 4500 BCE, and this is when irrigation had started. Irrigation, water storage systems, reservoirs and canal irrigation systems were all developed during this period. Outside the Indus Valley area there were other regions that contributed a lot towards agriculture, i.e., the Deccan Plateau and areas within Orissa and Bihar. Millets and pulses were grown large in these areas and engaged a lot in herding cattle, sheep and goats. The Iron Age. The Iron Age dates back to 1500 BCE to 200 CE. During this age, jute was cultivated at large and was used to make ropes and cords. Animals which were considered vital for human survival were worshipped. Trees such as peepal and banyan were also worshipped. Other plants were known for their medicinal values, and this is when Ayurveda came into play. There is evidence in Vedic texts that agricultural technologies and practices were used in cultivation of vegetables, fruits, cereals, and animal husbandry. Farmers plowed the soil, planted seeds, and started cropping in a certain sequence. They also started using cow dung as a fertilizer. The Early Common Era. This dates back to 200–1200 CE. Tamilians started cultivating crops such as millets, rice, black pepper, sugarcane, cotton, tamarind, palm, sandalwood, jackfruit, coconut, etc. Plowing, manuring, weeding, crop protection were all practiced in common. A dam named Kollanai was built near the Kaveri River. Spices such as black pepper and cinnamon were traded to the Mediterranean. Crystallized sugar was discovered during this period, and the process of candied sugar transmitted from India to China, which made Buddhist monks visit India for obtaining the technology of sugar refining. During the Chola Empire, i.e., between 875–1279, there was a reform. Collective holding of land by a particular group of people slowly moved to individual plots, each plot with its own irrigation system. This reduced the areas of dry cultivation as water was distributed by tank and channel networks. The Mughal Era. The population in India accelerated during this era, 1526 to 1757 CE. Crops like wheat, rice, barley, cotton, indigo were all grown large. New crops such as maize and tobacco were introduced. Indian crops were spread across North Africa, Spain, and the Middle East. A monetary tax system called zapt was introduced by Akbar during this era. At this time, Indian farmers were far more advanced than farmers across Europe. The colonial British era. Between 1757 to 1947 CE, commercial crops such as cotton, wheat, rice paved their way to the global market. Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and the Nirmala Valley were recognized as the centers of agrarian reforms. The price of agricultural commodities grew 3 times. A report in the form of palm leaf manuscripts at the Tanjore Tamil University gives us data on how agricultural production was in about 800 villages around Chennai between 1762 and 1766. The Republic of India. After 1947 CE, a lot of special programs were introduced to improve the crop supply. Campaigns such as the Grow More Food, integrated production program focused on the supply of food and cash crops, followed by the 5-year plans of India very soon. Land development, electrification, use of chemical fertilizers soon came under the government's supervision. Green Revolution, Yellow Revolution, Blue Revolution all started off from the 1960s, which resulted in a significant growth in the agricultural sector. White Revolution. This was launched in 1970 and is said to be one of the largest initiatives by the National Dairy Development Board of India. The main objective was to set up dairy cooperatives in 10 states. White Revolution is also considered to be one of the world's biggest dairy development programs. It literally transferred India from being a milk-deficient nation to one of the largest milk producers in the world. The contribution of agriculture towards GDP. The agricultural sector of India contributes the highest to its economy when compared to the other countries in the world. Agriculture in India contributes nearly 20.19%, whereas other countries contribute only 6.4% approximately. Nearly 20.5 million people depend on livestock for their livelihood, which means 8.8% of the population are employed by livestock. It contributes nearly 4.11% to the GDP. Agricultural imports and exports. Cereals, spices, tea, coffee are some of the major exports, and the value of agricultural exports when compared to other exports nearly contributes 15 to 20%. Agri-imports are only a small percent. Between 96 to 97 and 99 to 2000, agri-imports ranged only 4 to 7% of the total imports. This is when a strong middle class in India became the main consumers of vegetables, fruits, dairy, fish, meat, etc. Agricultural exports started growing by 10.1% every year. After independence, India became the largest producer of wheat, spice, edible oil, tea, etc., and the Ministry of Agriculture started overseeing all agricultural activities. Public distribution system. PDS was developed to manage the distribution of food grains at an affordable price. It has now become an important part of the government policy to manage the food economy in India. Food protection. The Constitution thus makes the right to food a guaranteed fundamental right, which is enforceable by virtue of the constitutional remedy provided under Article 32 of the Constitution. Thank you.